All right.
Episode 12.
Woohoo.
I think we're going to briefly talk about how we're sick of hearing about the NAR settlement.
It's everywhere right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think obviously it's what's the big thing that's going on in the news with real estate. I think we just go around and talk our shit about it. That's what we're going to do.
I know. I mean, we knew it was coming. We talked about it, the end of last year?
Yeah.
Like, when all the lawsuits were,
starting to happen.
Being filed.
Yeah.
And I think we said...
We knew something was going to happen.
Yeah. But I don't think we thought this soon. I didn't think
it was going to happen this soon.
Yeah.
I was like, holy crap. But, I mean,
Yeah.
I guess, it's been a few months.
So,
yeah.
Makes sense.
Basically, to recap what happened was there was a lawsuit in Missouri that basically a seller was pissed that they're paying for both commissions. They're paying for the buyer's commission and the seller's commission. Long story short, NAR didn't represent our industry and fight for us at all and explain the domino effect that happens after what they did by settling. But basically, I mean, I don't give a shit. It's this small little town in Missouri with a lawyer that felt like getting money and a seller that felt like getting paid. And basically, NAR settled and brought the entire nation down with it. Literally, the Missouri contracts and the documents that they use aren't even the same as what every other state uses. So if they didn't make it clear that you're paying the commission, California sure as shit does.
Yeah.
So basically, it's a class action lawsuit, and that's why it's getting to this magnitude. But I think the part that I think I could speak for all real estate professionals is we don't think people fully understand, again, the domino effect that just happened right now, because buyers don't have money to pay for this stuff. They barely have enough money for down payment, inspections, closing costs, the 3.5%. So now you're basically pricing out middle and lower class is what's happening here, in my opinion.
So many people.
Yeah.
So there's no one can afford to pay for a buyer's commission. That's why the seller pays for it. And essentially, if you want to get really technical here, the buyer actually paid for it, because the money that you just got to pay my commission is from that buyer's loan.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we could get deep if you want to.
I don't think people look at it that aspect, though,
Yeah,
so,
it's more
even,
it's greed.
Oh, and
it's just misinformation. And then when you hear the president of the United States saying, oh, I want all realtors to come together and lower commissions. First of all, you fucking idiot. That's not how this works. Commissions have always been negotiated. Always. They are not a set price. And if you go to the root of this wasn't even about realtors lowering their commission. This is about the seller not wanting to pay the commission and keep the most amount of money. This has nothing to do with us realtors at all.
And here's the thing, that seller, when they bought that house, their fees got paid for. So why are you bitching?
Yeah, when they were buying that house, they
weren't complaining
mad that the sellers paid for their commission,
I mean, I get it. I understand, if from an outsider's point of view, if you haven't bought or sold a house, I could get how this looks really weird. But unless you've actually done this transaction and been a buyer yourself, I think definitely you're kind of like, oh yeah, this is beneficial. I am the one putting up all the money. And also, again, you wouldn't be able to pay my buyer without my loan.
Yeah.
So,
and it's just been done this way for so long. At the end of the day,
do you want your house to sell? And that's where I don't think, I don't know, for me, I've never had a seller give me any pushback as far as anything. For me, I lay down what I charge, and I have different, okay, this is what comes with my services, and then go from there. But I've never had anybody push back and say, I don't want to pay them. Everybody just across the board knows, but now news and everything that's out there. Now I'm
know, what people are gonna say.
Now I'm waiting to see, okay, when am I gonna get that seller now that's I'm not paying them.
I think if anyone, I mean, I've said it a million times, I'm a conspiracy theorist. I honestly don't believe anything that is put in front of me, especially by the government or the media at all. But like, I honestly think this has nothing to do with realtors. This has nothing to do with commission. I honestly think this is, BlackRock and the big private equity companies coming to buy out all of these first-time home buyer prices, and that we're basically trying to turn the United States into a renter only, because they literally just priced out all first-time and middle-class buyers by this lawsuit. But yet no one's going after the private equity firms that are, I think it was 30 or 40% last year, bought all of the low-income and middle-class homes. No one's giving a shit about that.
Yeah.
Like, to me, this isn't about realtors. We're just being thrown in the fire.
We've always targets with it.
We're always said we get paid too much, or we're just door openers. But I think there's like some serious hidden agendas behind this, because the way it worked before, if you were in the system, you actually see that it was actually very beneficial for first-time home buyers and for people to actually own property. Now it's weird, it's taken away, but no one's paying attention to, again, these private equity firms that are coming in and buying all of these low-priced homes.
Well, you see it all over, and like, especially during COVID, like, first-time home buyers were fucked, and it's who had the most money in their pocket that could beat out everybody else.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's like, hopefully we never get to that, but kind of the same thing here, these private firms and stuff have the funds, whereas first-time home buyers are scraping by pennies to even get their down payment and closing costs.
Yeah. And then also too, like, now, I mean, there's so many different tangents that this lawsuit did, but now you're going to be, us realtors, now we're going to be doing dual agency.
Yeah.
And that is already seriously very sensitive itself. So now you're going to bypass a buyer's agent because you can't afford one, and you're going to go straight to the listing agent. But yet you're not going to feel that the listing agent, because I'm going to tell you right now, you have to be a very savvy and experienced real estate agent to do dual agency. But one of you is not going to feel represented, no matter what. No matter what, you're not going to feel represented, and you're probably going to sue that real estate agent. That's honestly probably what's going to happen next.
Well, people are so sue happy, know? And it just takes that one attorney, like,
to say yes, let's do
whole
it.
thing, and then open up another class action,
And then also, too, let's say you, let's say you're smart. You're studying to be a lawyer. I have no idea. You want to represent yourself. Now you just opened yourself up to represent yourself and probably get royally fucked by a seasoned agent that's probably going to destroy you with contracts, all these hidden, things that they can do in the contracts to protect the seller, which that is their job. Their job is to protect the seller. And you're going to be out there not represented by anyone, and then you could have a serious problem with losing money or getting sued yourself.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think what everything with this is, it's not flat out saying that sellers cannot pay the commissions. We just can't advertise it in the MLS. So
there's going to be a workaround.
Yeah, there is. And I think it's going to take agents working together to figure that out, But I think the big thing with it is to know that sellers can still pay buyer's agent commission.
Fees.
But then on the flip side, sellers can say, I'm not paying the buyer's commission because I don't feel like it.
Yeah. Okay, then let your house sit on the market.
Yeah, well, then good luck getting your household, buddy. Yeah.
And then buyer A is going to go elsewhere because they don't have the funds to purchase that house.
Yeah. Like, you're going to slim the buyer pool that's looking at your house to very low if you're going to be offering that.
I mean, there's definitely, we already know of multiple ways to get around this. And every realtor is going to be prepared for these other, not necessarily loopholes, but other ways to work around this. But again, I can't help to just go back to the bigger picture here of not the government and again, just the clip of the president saying that is like,
I have not seen
I haven't seen that either.
Look it up now.
Google it. It's going to fire you up. But the fact that, like, I don't feel like the real estate industry was represented properly at all. I don't feel like the government or the DOJ or the jury was truly informed of how this works, and then also seeing like the repercussions. But then it makes me think, because that's not the agenda. The agenda is to price out lower and middle class buyers. And again, the fact that no one's going after these private equity firms, like, that should be the headline right here.
Yeah.
That should be the serious headline of all these firms buying. They're not buying $1 million homes. They're buying low, middle class homes. So we are going to forever be a renter society in America. And again, that's my conspiracy theorist mind going, but
yeah, and it's like, wasn't that the American dream, to be able to come to America to buy a home for your family, to work, to make money, like, to not struggle, like, isn't that why people would come to America? Like, what happened to that?
Yeah. I guess we just have to.
Yeah.
We have to
so sad,
fight for it more now.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm curious too, like, with this lawsuit, like, if your guys' fees are going to raise, because they just paid out all, like, what was it, over $400 million.
So
like,
they said they're going to do it for the next, what I think is going to happen. So they said they're going to have to pay that in the next 4 years. And they said that they're not going to raise our fee for the next, I think, 2 years. But I think every realtor is on the same wavelength of, like, how the fuck could you let this happen?
Yeah.
We pay you so much money. You have the top lawyers, and you couldn't clearly communicate how bad this is. Not for us realtors. For buyers and sellers. Like, screw us. But, like, the fact that you couldn't clearly communicate the damage that this will cause, I think within the next 2 years, NAR is going to be bankrupt, because we realtors are not going to want to use them. I mean, this year it was hard to pay the money this year. I'm not going to lie to you. Next year, we're going to look at it again.
Yeah, reevaluate. Because a lot of people are going away from being members of NAR.
Yeah. Because if you weren't a member with NAR, you would, like, Compass, was it Keller Williams? You wouldn't be sucked into this class action lawsuit. You would get sued privately, but then again, you still could have your own documents. That's just your brokerage only. Like, there's actually a lot of benefits to it. I think just honestly, all of us are just so, I think, let down by NAR. And I don't even mean us realtors. I mean, like, the buyers in first class, middle class. I mean, it's just how they were not able to clearly communicate the damage that this caused, and just settling is just insane. Yeah. Insane.
I didn't think it was going to turn out this way.
I didn't think so either. I thought, like, okay, it's going to be a clusterfuck, but I didn't think this big of a clusterfuck.
I mean, the only other way that I could see we can make this right, and Jen, you could probably talk about this, is, okay, fine. Sellers pay for sellers' agents, all good. Buyers pay for buyer agents. But the only realistic way to do that
is to lock it up in the loan.
Yes. But then aren't you paying interest on that?
Well, then I feel like, you're paying interest on it. And then I feel like it's just going to create, like, the new 2008 crash. Like, now you're financing your buyer's fees. So now you're getting an escrow above what the house is really worth.
Yeah.
And so what if in a year, like we were just talking about this morning, what if in a year you need to sell because you need to get out of the house, and now you're upside down.
Yeah. And then not to mention too, like, we know VA buyers can't participate in that. They can't put money towards
FHA,
it.
same.
FHA.
So it's just going to be conventional, which most conventional buyers, they are the ones that have the money.
So, I mean, that's the only way I could see that this working, but they would have to rework.
They would have to change the laws on the government loan.
And there's going to be some other hidden, well, if you can put in the commission fees, then we can add this fee and add this fee. Again, it's just like, I feel like.
And if they wrap it up in the loans, and they're going to charge you a fee for that, just like they do FHA and VA now. They're going to charge you an even higher fee. Like, it's going to cost you way more money.
Yeah, somewhere along the line, you're going to be paying for it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the only other way I can think about it. Yeah. Oh, and like, oh God,
It's just fucked. It's just fucked all the way around.
So frustrating.
Yeah.
It is a little crazy.
Well, but you have something that may help.
We do. I mean, we just got one of our investors rolling out like a new down payment assistance program, but I mean, it's still FHA, so it's not like it's going to help any buyer's fees, but it does give, it's the 3.5% down. It goes into a second. You do have to make a monthly payment on it, so it's a little bit different. But you're not getting fucked on the rate because the rate is comparable with normal rates. Mm-hmm. Your second for the 3.5% down is 2% higher. So like, let's say the rate is 6.5. Your second will be 8.5. But okay. I mean, still, that's not
break it down even smaller. So like, okay, I want to buy a house and I have no money. How does this help me?
So, well, you're still going to have to come in with closing costs, but
okay. So closing costs is
we could technically still do lender paid and raise the rate even higher, and then put your closing costs in with the rate higher.
Like we do this with VA buyers, you know, if you're true VA no, you know.
Yeah.
So there's workarounds.
So you could technically with this program come in with no money as long as our rate sheet goes high enough for that day or whatever. But we could lock in some lender credit.
So this is just helping with your down payment.
Yeah.
You still have to come up with
closing costs
and inspection fees.
Yeah. So like no matter what, like closing costs, appraisal, which is considered closing costs, but like inspection fees, all of that, we're not going to be able to lock that in the loan because that's completely separate. But closing costs, appraisal, we could technically give a lender credit for it, and then which would be good.
So it's the credit that you're getting goes as a second. How many years do you have 10. To pay back? Okay.
It's a 10-year. So it's not like a full 30 like Calhafa or anything, but I mean, people refinance within, I think it's on average like 5 to 7 years is when everybody refinances anyway. So when you refinance your house, you just pay it off and done.
I love the way
you say
refinance.
Why?
Say it again.
Refinance.
Now I can't
You always say refinance.
Really? Do I? What kind of what is it?
Refinance?
No. What kind of, oh my God, what is the word? Like accent. There we go. What kind of accent is that?
Yeah. You put a little
like, and I get a little like French
on
it.
Well, I think we'll look at my 23andMe because I think I have some French in me. So.
Okay, sorry. What were we talking? The 10-year to pay it off in 10 years.
10-year pay it off. I was saying because like all the other like oh my God, I totally lost my train of thought. Programs. No.
You said Calhafa.
Yeah. What was my point? I don't even remember my point now. Thank you.
Sorry. Okay, what's your credit score that you need to get this?
Down to 600. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think it'll help a lot of people.
Is this like it's only going to be around for a certain amount of time?
I don't know. They just rolled it out, so I think I think it's just like testing the waters right now. So, I mean, I'm sure if they start getting a bunch of people to do it, then they'll keep it around.
For just first-time home buyers?
No. So as long as you don't own a home currently, then you're fine.
I have a question.
Yes.
Okay. If a husband and wife have a home and they want to sell it, and they want to buy a new home, but the husband is only on the selling side, the listing or the house, but the husband and wife want to buy the house. Sorry, stick with me. Could they still qualify for first-time home buyer even though the wife isn't on the home? The wife have to do it by herself.
Yes.
Okay.
Because you have to not own a home for 3 years.
Okay.
To be considered a first-time home buyer.
And then you would have to go conventional, right?
At that,
because they're married.
No. Well, if the wife was going on alone, then technically, depending on how much debt the husband had. Because when you go FHA or VA, well, VA, you have to include them anyways. But when you go FHA, you have to include husband or wife's debt, even if they're not on the loan.
Okay, that makes sense.
Well, Jenn just gave us a little ray of sunshine here. a little glimmer of
We're
hope.
all a little off today, I think.
Yeah. A little glimmer of hope for first time and middle and lower class people. Pretty much everyone buying a home, including myself. So yeah, hit up Jen if you have any questions about that new program.
Yes. I think the biggest thing to know is regardless of the whole NAR thing, first time home buyers, there's options out there.
Yeah.
You know, like we could figure out some way to make things work. You know, there's always a workaround for
I remembered what I was going to say. I was going to say, because Cal Haffa, like those programs, the rates are so much higher.
Yeah.
They're not like comparable to a regular FHA program. This one is. So it like you qualify for more and their debt to income ratios are higher. The allowable is higher.
Interesting. So this is just a lot more flexible for people.
Yeah. So it's going to make it like a lot easier because like with regular Cal Haffa, like the debt to income ratio is lower, the rate's higher. So like you're screwed all around to get to fit you in a box, especially here in California. Like most people that need to go Cal Haffa don't qualify for anything to buy out here.
Yeah.
Totally. It's like, well, this works for you if you live in Idaho.
Yeah. Totally. Cool. Well,
so I mean, I think it'll help a lot of people.
Yeah.
Hopefully. There's options.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of options. So
yeah. Again, hit up Jen if you have any questions on that. And we would love to hear everyone else's opinion about this NAR stuff, even though I'm so over it.
It's just everywhere right now.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
But I'm also kind of in a feisty mood, so like
today's the day.
Today's the day to like let's talk some shit here. Let's get it out, you know. But yeah, we will continue to keeping you guys updated on this situation. But thanks for hearing us rant. Again, thanks for hanging with us up to 12 episodes now. And we appreciate all your guys' support.